Witcher, Witcher, Witcher! There's fish people drowning our sheep in the river!
Sounds like drowners. Gonna need spicy mayo.
Okay.
Oil my blade. Witcher magic for every occasion. Killing monsters is what I do.
Okay, can you hurry?
Witcher! A vampire ate my mom!
A Dracula needs garlic butter.
And I guess bringing in a new White Wolf at this point in the season, a bold move and a tall order for Liam.
And of course, he wanted to honor the character that had already been set up, because he knows that he's stepping into a role. But at the same time, he wanted to make sure that his performance was authentic, that it felt like him, that he wasn't playing and mimicking anything. And so
let's just say the reaction is exactly what we expected. It is getting completely and totally annihilated by the fans. In fact, season 4 earned series low Rotten Tomatoes score as Liam Hemsworth Geralt arrives on Netflix.
I'm the most annoying guy on set because I'm saying, excuse me, you do realize that this should be happening and they wouldn't do that, and you haven't read this, that means this would be impossible. And everyone's just going, Henry, just shut up and do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing because he wouldn't do it this way, and he can do it.
And that's where you start to get more uncomfortable and you're thinking, there's not a
The Witcher was supposed to be 7 seasons, but it was abruptly cut down to 5 after Henry Cavill left, and Lauren Hissrich is lucky she got that. But she does say, are there more stories? Maybe. Well, actually, there's a lot because you skipped them, but this one has to end at this point. So I think it's a nice time for all of us to step back a little bit. And that probably has a lot to do with the audience stepping back a long time ago.
It was posted last night. Netflix's Q2 report came out, and apparently they lost 1 million subscribers in the second quarter of this year, which we already saw that at the beginning of the year, they lost 200,000. The next month, they lost another couple 100,000, and they had projected that they were going to lose a couple million over the next few months. I don't really think people believed it, but it happened.
Millions of people are canceling their Netflix subscriptions. Why Netflix stock is absolutely tanking right now. I mean, it is just collapsing totally in the red. And you can see that it is on a massive downward slope this month. It's cratering. Why is that happening?
And you have a sense that you're going, is this really necessary?
I watched about 35, 40 minutes of the first episode, and I ended up texting Gary. And I just said, dude, I cannot do this. I'm 40 odd minutes in. I'm done. I've had enough. This is utter.
as the years have gone by, Netflix's Witcher series has gotten worse and worse. Recasts, rewrites, moving further away from the source material has truly damaged this show to the point of no return. There's no way that they could save it going into the last season. But now that season 4 is out and we only have one more to go, this show is basically hated by everybody.
Let me ask you guys something. Are you excited for Witcher season 4?
Isn't it out right now on Netflix?
Just coming out, and the reviews have started to drop. So
because I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, and bear in mind, given the backlash, I would expect a little bit of review bombing. So people who haven't seen it but who hate the concept. Oh no, you're behind, Drinker.
Is it changed?
It's down to 17.
Henry Cavill just broke his silence about The Witcher in the most unexpected way possible. After months of carefully avoiding the subject, the man who walked away from one of Netflix's biggest shows reportedly sat down face to face with the very people who replaced him. And according to multiple sources, what he said in that private meeting has the entertainment industry buzzing. But here's the twist. It all happened right after South Park absolutely destroyed The Witcher on national television. We're talking about a full episode dedicated to roasting the show's creative decisions. So, what really went down when Cavill confronted showrunner Lauren Schmidt Hissrich? Why did a cartoon parody trigger such a massive response? And could this be the moment that changes how Hollywood handles beloved franchises? Let's break down everything that's happened.
Witcher, a ghoul,
Sesame glaze,
Bear Man,
honey mustard,
werewolf,
honey mustard,
no,
honey mustard,
thieving,
lemon pepper,
rat boy,
honey mustard.
Witcher, we's catching snails.
That would be French onion.
When South Park targets you, it's usually a sign you've become a cultural punching bag. And that's exactly what happened when Trey Parker and Matt Stone released their Witcher parody episode. The timing was brutal.
My job? Kill monsters. Get coin. Use coin on McDonald's app. Get points. Use points to get free McChicken. Only 1,500 points. Every dollar spent is 100 points. Constant BOGOs. I always leave with a free McChicken. It's like I'm stealing from them.
Stealing? You're a thief. Lemon pepper!
Season 4 of The Witcher had just premiered with Liam Hemsworth stepping into Geralt's boots, and the fan reaction was already mixed at best. The South Park episode, reportedly titled something like The Glitcher Rise of the Algorithm, went straight for the throat. In the parody, a character clearly modeled after Cavill's Geralt gets replaced mid-scene by a confused new actor who keeps asking what his motivation is. The fake showrunner responds with a line that cut deep, "Your motivation is diversity metrics and global reach, Gerald." The audience in the show laughs, but real-world fans weren't laughing. They were furious all over again. Within hours, the episode racked up millions of views across social media. Clips spread faster than Netflix could copyright claim them. People weren't just entertained, they were validated. One viral Reddit comment captured the mood perfectly. South Park just did more justice to Sapkowski's world in 20 minutes than Netflix did in 3 seasons. The parody unleashed something that had been building for years. Hashtags like #BringBackCavill and #SaveTheWitcher started trending again, but this time felt different. This wasn't just fan disappointment, it was organized anger. Twitter threads dissected every creative decision Lauren Schmidt Hissrich had made. Old interviews resurfaced, including one where she admitted that some writers on The Witcher staff hadn't even read the source material. Fans began tagging Cavill directly, begging him to comment. For days, he stayed silent. That silence only made people more desperate to hear from him. Then, reportedly, something shifted. According to multiple entertainment insiders, Cavill attended a private industry dinner in London. Someone at the event asked him what he thought about the South Park episode. His response was only one sentence, but it detonated online. Sometimes truth comes from parody. That quote spread like wildfire. Fans interpreted it as a direct shot at Netflix and the show's creative team. And within 24 hours, whispers started circulating that Cavill had actually arranged a private meeting with The Witcher Season 4 creators. What supposedly happened next has become the most talked about rumor in recent franchise history. According to sources close to the production, Cavill requested a face-to-face meeting with key figures behind Season 4, including Lauren Schmidt Hissrich herself. The meeting allegedly took place at Netflix's London office in a glass-walled conference room. No cameras, no press, but word leaked almost immediately. One insider described the atmosphere as pure tension. Cavill reportedly opened with a simple question: why did you lose faith in the story that made this world what it is? Hissrich apparently defended the creative direction, saying the show needed to evolve for a broader audience. That's when Cavill allegedly leaned forward and delivered the line that stunned everyone in the room. "You didn't broaden the audience. You lost the one that mattered." And people close to the meeting say Cavill didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His disappointment was louder than any shouting match could have been. He reportedly called out specific creative choices that ignored Andrei Sapkowski's books. He mentioned the constant rewrites that stripped Geralt of depth, and he questioned the obsession with chasing trends instead of honoring the story's timeless qualities. Hissrich pushed back, according to reports, claiming that fans didn't understand the new direction, but Cavill wasn't having it. He reminded her that The Witcher was never meant to be trendy. It was supposed to endure. By the time he left, witnesses say Hissrich looked visibly shaken. One person described it as watching someone get dressed down by the very character they tried to replace. When word of the confrontation leaked, the internet exploded. Not just fan forums this time, major entertainment outlets picked up the story. Hashtags multiplied, YouTube commentary channels went into overdrive, and Netflix reportedly went into full panic mode. Inside the company, the mood shifted overnight. What had been dismissed as typical fandom drama suddenly looked like a genuine brand crisis. Viewership projections for Season 4 allegedly dropped by double digits after the South Park episode aired. Marketing teams scrambled. Executives who championed creative freedom were now demanding answers. One insider described the internal reaction bluntly. They didn't realize how much people still cared about Cavill until South Park made fun of them. It was like being roasted on live TV by your own audience. Netflix had invested millions into building The Witcher as their answer to Game of Thrones. Now that same property was being mocked across every platform imaginable. PR teams pushed out vague statements about creative transitions and fresh directions. The internet wasn't buying it. Every official post got flooded with replies demanding Cavill's return or calling for apologies. There were even unconfirmed whispers that Netflix considered delaying future episodes to make script adjustments. Through all the chaos, Henry Cavill barely said another word publicly, and somehow, that made him even more powerful. Fans started sharing clips of his old interviews where he talked about fighting to keep Geralt authentic. Every past quote now sounded prophetic. In one 2019 interview, he'd said, "If you don't respect the source material, you'll lose what made it special in the first place." That line became a rallying cry. People called it the Cavill Code, the idea that sometimes saying nothing is louder than any press release. He wasn't just an actor anymore, he'd become a symbol of creative integrity in an industry that often lacks it. Meanwhile, Lauren Schmidt Hissrich went quiet. According to reports, she was advised to avoid interviews to prevent prolonging the controversy. But her silence looked like guilt to many fans. The contrast was stark. Cavill's calm, principled approach versus what people perceived as Netflix's corporate damage control. Something fascinating started happening once the initial chaos died down. People stopped just arguing about The Witcher and started having bigger conversations. Forums that used to obsess over casting news were now debating creative authenticity in Hollywood. YouTube channels that once reviewed episodes were breaking down the philosophy behind Cavill's stance. The question everyone kept asking was simple: when did we stop respecting the stories that matter to people? Because The Witcher wasn't just another fantasy show, it had become a case study in what happens when marketing strategy replaces genuine passion. Even entertainment insiders admitted it. One Screen Rant writer anonymously told reporters, "Henry wasn't being difficult, he was being protective." There's a difference. That distinction resonated. Fans finally understood what Cavill had been fighting for all along. He wasn't defending a role. He was defending an idea that some stories deserve to be told the right way. Public perception shifted dramatically. By the time The Witcher Season 4 teaser trailer dropped months later, the comment section said everything. Thousands of people flooded it with variations of "No Cavill, no Witcher," and "You can't replace passion with marketing." Netflix had the numbers and the budget, but Henry Cavill had something more valuable: the people. Months after the controversy peaked, South Park's Witcher parody episode won an Emmy for Outstanding Animated Writing. During the acceptance speech, Trey Parker made a joke that landed heavier than anyone expected. "We didn't mean to start a revolution. We just wrote what everyone was thinking." The industry audience laughed. Online, fans didn't laugh. They nodded in agreement, because in a strange way, Parker was right. The parody had become prophecy. It had articulated frustrations that fans had been feeling for years, but couldn't quite put into words. And it had given Henry Cavill an unexpected platform to stand his ground without ever needing to attack anyone directly. Just when everyone thought the Witcher saga was behind him, Henry Cavill made one final move that changed the conversation entirely. At a gaming convention in Poland, a journalist asked if he'd ever return to fantasy storytelling. Cavill paused, smiled, and said something that sent social media into a frenzy. "I never left it. I'm just finding a story that deserves the journey." Within hours, rumors exploded. Reports surfaced that Cavill had signed on to help develop a new fantasy series, one focused on authenticity and creative respect. Some claimed it was an adaptation of a forgotten 1980s fantasy novel. Others whispered it was his own original concept. Nothing was officially confirmed, but the message was clear. Something big was coming. For fans, it felt like poetic justice. Cavill had walked away from The Witcher not because he wanted to, but because he had to. And that same decision had transformed him from just an actor into a creative force, someone who stood for everything the audience believed in. Meanwhile, The Witcher Season 4 continued facing delays and rewrites. Every new behind-the-scenes photo was met with skepticism. No matter what Netflix did, every conversation circled back to one name: Cavill. Looking back, the entire saga reveals something important about modern entertainment. It's not just about one show or one actor. It's about what happens when audiences feel their passion is being exploited rather than honored. The Witcher controversy became a proxy war for a larger cultural debate. Do studios owe anything to the source material and the fans who love it? Henry Cavill's stance suggested yes. His reported confrontation, his careful public statements, and his eventual departure all pointed to someone who believed that stories have value beyond profit margins. And fans responded to that authenticity in massive numbers. They didn't just want Geralt back. They wanted proof that Hollywood still cares about getting things right. South Park's parody worked because it exposed a truth people already suspected, that too many creative decisions are made in boardrooms rather than by people who genuinely love the material. And when someone like Cavill pushes back against that, even quietly, it resonates. So, what's the final takeaway from all of this? Henry Cavill didn't just confront the Witcher creators, he sparked a conversation that's still happening about creative integrity, about respecting source material, about what audiences actually want versus what studios think they want. Whether you're a diehard Witcher fan or just someone interested in how Hollywood works, this story matters because it shows that audiences still have power, that actors can stand up for what they believe in, and that sometimes a single principled decision can change how an entire industry thinks about storytelling. What do you think? Did Henry Cavill do the right thing by walking away, or should he have stayed and tried to change things from the inside? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay updated on whatever project Cavill's working on next, make sure you're subscribed because we'll be covering every development. Thanks for watching!